Hello, entrepreneurs. My name is Bimal Shah. I'm on a mission to make pioneers out of entrepreneurs by helping you achieve your 3 year goal in 1 year that's tied to your 25-year vision and 5 year moonshot. I do it through weekly sprints and 90-day leaps. This is the Pioneers Academy podcast, and I'm on a mission to make a million pioneers. And I thought this podcast channel will help you achieve your 3 year goal and jump to the next level. I'm going to be showing lots of training and lots of great episodes. So join on this podcast and get all the training and resources you need to achieve your 3 year goal in 1 year and make yourself a pioneer. I wrote 13 books, Becoming a Pioneer, and you can get all those 13 books on Amazon. We're going to give away to every listener who listens on this podcast a $100 Amazon gift card so you can get all the books and learn how to become a pioneer.
Welcome to the Pioneers Academy podcast. I'm April, your host, and today I'm incredibly excited to bring on someone who's truly transforming how entrepreneurs think about time and productivity. Bimal Shah is not only a business strategist but also the author of the Pioneers 13 book series. He's helped countless entrepreneurs unlock breakthroughs with powerful systems. And today, he's here to share one of those game changers: daily energy audits. If you're ever felt like you're constantly busy but still falling behind, or if your to do list grows faster than your results, then episode is for you. Because we often think time management is about better calendars or tighter schedules. But Bimal is here to show us that the real secret to managing your time is managing your energy. And once you master that, everything changes. Right, Bimal?
Absolutely. So this is one of the biggest myths that people have, that, time management. And if you think about the word manage, if you look up the definition of the word manage in Oxford or Webster or wherever you look it up, it will say change control or direction of. You cannot control or direct time. Time run on its own. You cannot change that. So the most important thing is how you manage your energy, and that's what we're going to talk about because it's the real secret to time management. So really excited about today's topic and diving into it.
And so I, Bimal. To start off, how would you define a daily energy audit, and why do you believe it's essential as time management when it comes to productivity at work, Bimal?
So think about our feelings. Whenever we think about time management, the number one feeling comes stressed or overwhelmed. If you think about, people, how they feel when it comes to time, they feel overwhelmed, they feel stressed, they feel burned out. And that is because, why do you feel burned out? Because there's no energy in your body, there's no energy to deal with, or you're taking on too much. Why do you feel overwhelmed? Because, you're doing things that may not excite you. So really, time management, think people think that I can manage time. You cannot manage time, but you can manage your energy. And managing your energy goes to not just like physical energy. So people think about energy means, okay, I need to do a workout so I will be strong, I'll be physically strong, and I'll be able to manage my energy and things will be great. That is not the only component. However, it's one of the most essential components of, energy throughout the day. But bigger than that is also what what drives energy is your, feeling towards what you do on a daily basis. So think about your activities. There are some energy draining activities, things that drain your energy, things that bring you down, and you feel like, you're doing over and over again, and it doesn't excite you, it doesn't make you feel good after you get it done, or you're just doing it for the sake of money, okay, or you're doing it because you have to do it. Whatever the reason is, does it how does it, when you complete that task or activity, whatever you're doing, how do you feel about it at the end of, when you complete it? How do you feel about it when you do it? If you feel great about it, then that's an energy producing activity rather than energy draining activity. And similarly, so that's a daily energy audit, and say, okay, look at all the things that you do during the day and which brings you energy, which makes you feel energetic in terms of your activities, in terms of your task, things that you do at work, things that you do, or even things that you may managing personally, but it really drains your energy. So one of the things, even with me, I delegated the entire handling of finances, and paying bills and all of that to my wife, who's in finance and in accounting and all of that, and she's a chartered accountant. So because that used to drain my energy and I couldn't handle running the business and doing all of that. So finally, there's a lot of energy that came throughout the day because now I could focus on the business and do what I love to do best. So that is looking at what are the activities that drain your energy, make you feel, completely like overwhelmed, or you feel like you're doing it without any purpose, or you're just doing it for the sake of doing it. So think about those, and then those energy draining things you want to eliminate from your day.
Perspective is so refreshing, Bimal. And the idea that managing our energy, not totally the time, can really unlock a new level of performance and really flips the traditional productivity model that most of us are used to. So, thank you about that. Now, can you walk us through your personal process for conducting an energy audit during a typical workday? What exactly should we be tracking or observing aside from the ones that you've mentioned already?
So so there are energy producing activities, energy maintaining activities, and energy draining activities. So energy producing activities is, those are the ones that actually make you feel excited, fascinated. You want to pat yourself on the back and you feel like you're the best in the world and you're the only one who can do this. Those are energy producing activities, and because they make you feel good. And now I'm talking about physical energy you do from your workout, 1,000 calories if you can burn at the start of the day, amazing, you'll have energy throughout the day. If not, do it in intervals. So there's different physical models that different entrepreneurs have used, and they all work. Some people exercise twice a day, some people do it in between short bursts of exercise, short walks, this, that. They work. So the physical energy model, in terms of actual workouts and things like that, that's up to you and how you want to imply. Today I'm talking about one energy model that most people don't look at, and that is work related, or things that you do on a daily basis. Those are once you divide your things into these three categories: producing, draining, maintaining. So once you say, okay, producing is the one that you want to focus on. So now what do you do with the ones that are draining? And what do you do with the ones that are maintaining? So with the ones that are maintaining, you can build, we have, if you go to the link, if you go to the link below in the show notes below, we have the daily energy audit tool. Free. There's no cost to you. So just go through it, answer the questions. You'll actually build, something wonderfully amazing. And you can keep using that on a daily basis. The reason I say it's a daily energy audit, because if you do it on a daily basis, you will improve at an exponential level, like 100, 1,000 times, because every day it's, you will see and discover something new. And you'll feel like, okay, there's another level to the same activity that I was doing yesterday. And if I learn about that, it will even produce more energy. So why don't I look into that? So, think about post versus blog. Just simple. I'm giving a simple example. You could write a post and you feel great about it. Now if you convert that into a blog and an article, you even feel much greater about it because you've taken it to another level. So that is, the reason for daily audits, because you can think differently. And then the maintaining is, you want to build a system of management. You don't have to necessarily do it, but how can you do it where, it's managed properly? So you get the reports and you get what you need and it's maintained, and you don't have to necessarily do it completely. You may be doing small pieces of it. The remainders are delegated, and the draining part, you can delegate or eliminate it. You don't want to do those things. So that's a simple step-by-step process. And if you go in the show notes below with the daily energy audit tool, you can actually do it. And this energy audit tool will actually give such a better insight into time management, because we all have misunderstood time management. You cannot manage time. Time is going to run on its own. It doesn't stop. You know, time is time. You cannot change control or direction of time. But what you can change is what you do with the time that you have and what you're doing in the time that you have. And the most important piece, which people don't talk about, is how you feel about what you do in the time that you have.
That sounds super practical, Bimal. I love that you actually encourage our listeners to actually track those reasons that drains them, and that and from that alone you can use that as a feedback loop. Once you assess and identify those reasons. And well, thank you about that. Thank you for reminding each and every one of us. So now, what are the common signs or patterns that people often miss when it comes to identifying what drains or recharges their energy?
So the first is the starting point. Whenever you start something, you know, you may feel like, oh, I have to do this again. Oh my God, to deal with this. So it's as soon as you start, your body, your brain, has a reaction to what you're going to do. And that reaction is important because the start itself determines that you're not really into this. This is not something that you want to do. So now, if you're feeling that way, that's an energy draining activity. Okay. The second is, you get excited, but there may be pieces while you're going through it, and during that piece, some of those pieces, you don't like it, you don't manage it. So usually, there's a 80-20 rule. You can do the most important 20% of anything, and you would accomplish 80% and delegate the other 20%, and you cut down your time by what you're spending by 80%. So you can save almost, several hours a day of what you do, and then you can figure out, okay, this piece I just need to, delegate it, or this piece, I need to create, technology. Looking, there's technology that will do the work. Like previously, we were surfing on the internet and we used to spend hours and hours surfing on the internet for research. Now you ask a detailed question to the AI and it does the matter in seconds. So we have reduced that time of surfing from hours and research of hours to minutes or seconds. And so that is what you need to, take advantage of technology. That technology is useful. Technology is, in fact, the only thing that has changed our lives, if you look from the beginning. So technology that has good and bad, but whatever technology is good, use it. Why not? So that's the second, while you're doing the work, you will get the most signals. And the last piece is, so you have the beginning, you have the middle, and you have the end. Now the end is once you've completed the whole task, take a pause, take a minute to reflection of what happened through this whole thing. You worked on this, you you did all this. How do you feel about it? And the most important part is interruptions. If you can eliminate interruptions, you will not be so overwhelmed, because if you 80% of the things that are interruptions, or more than it, this is a study done by I think it was uh, Bur Busher brother. I think it's the Hoover. I think the Hoover. They did a study on this where 89.3% of the interruptions are trivial in nature, meaning that they're not needed. So if you can find a way that you can eliminate interruptions, that can also remove, you may like the task, but what you may hate is the interruptions that stop in between and you have to start again, or you catch up where you left off, and you're changing your focus or your thought process, or you may have deep into thought process and somebody interrupted and you lost that thought process and you have to regain that thought process. Whatever the case is, whatever the scenario is, if you can figure out a way to eliminate the interruptions. We, in fact, even have a tool on the website, the Daily Interruption Eliminator. You can go through, use that tool, and it will eliminate interruptions. So those are some of the things that will help you in this process, and help you manage time better and manage your energy. And that's why the Daily Energy Audit tool we developed. You can access the tool in the show notes below, and see an amazing transformation on a daily basis.
Yes, and I think a lot of us fall into these invisible energy traps, Bimal, and we normalize it without realizing the cost. And this really helps bring awareness to what's actually holding us back. So thank you. I might gonna use this tool also because I need to assess it also for myself. So thank you for that. And now, once we've identified our energy highs and lows, how do we use that insight to reorder or restructure our tasks for better performance and well being?
So this is where your real time calendars come into play. People use your calendars for uh, meetings, appointments, phone calls, things like that. But do you put your high energy activities on the calendar and a time slot for it? If you do that, you'll be amazed on what comes out of it. This is where you use the time tracking technology that we have, and the most important weapon of all is the calendar. And use the calendar for these things for high energy producing activities. Put it on the calendar, as simple as that. So block 25-minute block, 90-minute blocks, 30-minute block, whatever the time of block you need, even 3-hour blocks. If there is a project or thing that if I and I have seen that sometimes people say, if I can dedicate 3 hours at this thing, I can finish what it takes 3 months to finish in 3 hours. Then why is it not on the calendar? Simple as that. And that's the reason, because it's not on the calendar, it doesn't get done.
It's a game changer, Bimalik, matching the right task to the right energy level. And I can see how working with your natural rhythm can really increase output without pushing yourself into burnout. So, yeah, thank you for reminding each and every one of us. And now, Bimal, let's talk about adopting the audit to remote and high stress work. What would you say to the professionals out there who's listening, who work remotely or in a high pressure environments? How can they adopt the energy audit to avoid a burnout and sustain performance?
Thank you for that question, because a lot of people are working remotely, and things are going worldwide, and it has been working for companies. It's not been working because they have not. One of the main reasons if it's not working is they're not managing it properly for themselves and their team. So if you manage it properly, one of the best tools you can provide and resource you can provide to your team is the freedom to choose and build their own daily routine. So instead of it's the beginning. Instead of you bringing in, hey, this is your day, this is what needs to be done, this is everything. Give a little bit of time, conversation, and let your team build their daily routine, or let their team, build what they want to see accomplished by the end of the day. Let them choose their victories that they want to achieve. Let them plan their day, and let them come back to you with a plan on how they're going to accomplish those results and report to you. So, that freedom is essential. And if you give that freedom to people who are working remotely, and if they are not given that freedom, they can ask for it. Hey, listen, I know you're given this, but how about if I plan my day like this? I believe I would be more productive output. You'll get better result. You'll actually make more money. You will see your business and company grow much farther and better if I did this. Would you be open to that? No, it never hurts to ask. So that is, but that takes an initiative either from the employer or from the employee. So if the employer doesn't take the initiative, the employee can take the initiative and say, if I did this and you're giving me this is the result. I'm giving you this is the result. This result is, better, has more credibility, potential, and you can measure it. And if you measure, and if you get able to measure the results and compare the two, the an entrepreneur or leader or owner, if there's better results, why would they say no?
Exactly, Bimal. And that's such a thoughtful and realistic approach since most of us now are working remotely. And so many people think that the answer to burnout is just to push through. But your strategy offers a sustainable alternative that really supports performance and the personal well being of each and every one.
A lot of companies just, hey, you have to show up because you're working remotely. You need to log in the hours. And there are a lot of people who are sitting in meetings that they don't belong. They're just doing nothing and it's boring. And boredom takes over. And then they look for another job and then you worry, and you wonder, why did the people leave? What happened here? So you don't think about time management, remote management. It's not about the time, it's about the results. So have a conversation on the results, not on the time. And if the results are delivered, does it matter really in how much time it's given?
You're really giving us point here that most of the employers uh, lacks on understanding to it. So thank you about that. And Vimal, you've written 13 books, 13 amazing books. So which of your books focus most on energy audits and systems like this? So we can recommend it to our listeners today.
So on the show notes, I have a very detailed chapter on the last book, book number 12, where we launched on energy audits. If you get that book, it's currently for just 99 cents. And, we have a $100 Amazon gift card, so you can redeem it, using that as well. And then book number 146, I share some ideas on time management, on processes, on the thinking, on the activity, that you can like, love, hate, and can't, and just, segregate your energy activities, energy producing activities, energy draining activities, energy maintaining activities. And then those are, if those are some short insights on those other books. So take the $100 Amazon gift card, or if you don't want to use that, just use the link for the latest book, which has a deeper insight into the energy audits. And $100 Amazon gift card for just tuning in and listening to this podcast. That's a great gift. Use it. No strings attached. You won't have to buy anything, sign up for anything. You're not gonna get, it's just use the gift card and you have the books.
Such a generous incentive, Vimal. So even before you keep on giving this $100 Amazon gift card for everyone listening, for just listening. And that's a perfect opportunity for people to invest in themselves while getting something back. And it really adds even more value to everything you are offering. So, to everyone listening, uh, take the opportunity, get those free incentive from Bimal, the $100 Amazon gift card. Thank you so much, Bimal.
Thank you very much, and make yourself a pioneer. Do an energy audit. Hello, pioneers and entrepreneurs. My name is Bimal Shah. I'm on a mission to make pioneers out of entrepreneurs by helping you achieve your 3-year goal in 1 year that is tied to your 25-year vision and 5-year moonshot. I do it through 90-day leaps and weekly sprints and through my own proprietary 4-leap system. I've also written 13 books, the Becoming a Pioneer series. I've founded the Pioneers Academy, the Pioneers platform, and several resources that help you on several different platforms: the Thrive platform, Transform platform, and Transcend platform. So these are resources and tools that I built for you to double your business in a year and scale exponentially and become the only one in your business.